नाही माहिती, अजून नाही शिकवत आहे.
Good morning, everyone. We will start within 1 minute. Please tell your friends to join fast. Okay, good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, yesterday we have seen what is green chemistry, correct? The basic principle of the green chemistry is just to reduce the formation of the byproducts, and in that we have seen the 12 principles we are supposed to study, out of which five principles already we have done yesterday. So the first principle was prevention of the waste or byproduct. उसमें कौन सा टेक्निक था? Zero waste technique. ठीक है, technology, sorry. And in that they have given us the illustration of the raw materials which are used for the production of certain reaction, and if the byproduct is there, that should be used as a raw material for the another reaction. Then atom economy also you have studied yesterday. What is atom economy? In this, whatever the reactant you are going to use, maximum number of the atoms should be involved into the formation of the product, and byproduct should be lesser. And you can calculate the percentage of atom economy also. You can see the reaction here. The atom economy is only 50%, approximately 50%, which is not a good atom economy. So to get lesser amount of the byproducts, your atom economy should go up to 90%. Okay. Next is less hazardous chemical synthesis. You should see to it that the reaction which you're going to do and the product which you're going to form should be less hazardous. जहां तक हो सके एकदम safe chemicals बनाने हैं, but 100% safest chemical is not possible. Always there will be some evolution of the gases, some decomposition reaction, some combination reaction, different reactions are possible. So you should prepare here a less hazardous chemical reaction. So here they have said, as DDT is creating lots of environmental pollution, so that has been replaced by BHC, that is benzene hexachloride. Okay, then after that we have seen designing of the safer chemicals. Of course, it is related to the first, that third principle only. only. You should see to it that the workers who are working in the industry should not expose to the harmful gases. Even your environment should be safe from the harmful gases and the pollutants. Okay? So that is why you should create or synthesize a very simple and a safe um, क्या था products. ठीक है? For example, adipic acid can be prepared from the benzene, but benzene is volatile compound and it is causing cancer because it is carcinogenic in nature, right? So that has been replaced by another compound called as, क्या था दूसरा compound जो हम लोगों ने use किया, from glucose. ठीक है? Then next is use safer solvent and the auxiliaries. So as I told you yesterday also, most of the cases may we are using water as a solvent because water is acting as a universal solvent, right? But some of the compounds which are organic are not completely soluble in the water. In that case, we need to use organic solvents such as dichloromethane, trichloromethane, tetrachloromethane, ether, alcohol. Take a different compounds which we are going to use may cause the environmental pollution, right? So you should see that your customers or consumers or the workers are not exposed to the harmful gases which are evolved due to these radiations or these compounds. Okay? So here you should find out the alternative ways in which you can dissolve your solvents or do the diluted form. जैसे 50% अल्कोहल ले लिया या 50% कोई कंपाउंड ले लिया तो डाइल्यूट करके अगर पॉसिबल हो तो वैसे करना है. ठीक है? So these 5 principles we have seen yesterday. Today we will go for the 6th principle, design for energy efficiency. Now what they have said over here, chemical synthesis should be designed to minimize the use of energy. Nowadays everything we are working on the energy. Electricity चाहिए, सब जगह instrument चाहिए. डॉक्टर के पास भी जाएंगे तो वो हम लोग को बहुत सारे टेस्ट लिख के देता है जिसके लिए we are using energy, we are using instruments, we are using different technologies. ठीक है? So here you should design the chemical reaction which requires least amount of energy. It is better to minimize the energy by carrying out the reaction at the room temperature and the pressure. This is the main purpose of this green chemistry, that you should do all the reactions which are based on the room temperature so that energy sources are used to the lesser extent. Okay? This can be achieved by the use of proper catalyst, use of microorganisms for the organic synthesis, use of renewable materials, etc. So you can do all these things. How they have illustrated this, the biocatalyst can work at an ambient condition. Similarly, in the chemical synthesis, the fluxing conditions requires less energy, improving the technology of the heating system, use microwave heating, etc. So what they said, biocatalyst means the enzymes. Okay, you can use the microorganisms for the further for certain reactions so that those reaction will take place faster even at the room temperature. तो जहां तक हो सके टेम्परेचर प्रेशर कैटलिस्ट कम से कम इस्तेमाल करना है. ठीक है? रिफ्लक्स करना मतलब हीट करना. so in that case you can use a proper heating system या फिर माइक्रोवेव यूज करो जिसके रेडिएशंस अंदर ही रह जाते हैं बाहर तक नहीं आते. इट इज नॉट कॉजिंग एनी environmental pollution. So that is called as sixth principle, design for energy efficiency. Means you should focus on the savings of the energy. ठीक है? Conservation of the energy. That is the sixth principle. Seventh principle is use of renewable feedstocks. मतलब जो चीजें हम लोग को बार बार मिल सकती है वही चीजें हम लोग को यूज करना है. ठीक है? The perspective of this principle is largely toward the petrochemicals. Use chemicals which are made from the renewable, that is plant based sources, rather than other, that is for the crude oils. Because if you are having plant based sources, natural sources nowadays people are using. ठीक है? तो ये प्लांट कैसे आप प्लांट कर सकते हो, ग्रो कर सकते हो. ठीक है? So those are called as renewable sources which you will get it again. But the sources such as crude oils और जो energy हम लोग यूज करते हैं वो सब एक बार खत्म हो गया तो वापस से मिलना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा for the next generation. ठीक है? Over exploitation of the non renewable feedstock will deplete the resources and future generation will be deprived. मतलब क्या है, अगर आप एक्स्ट्रा यूज करते रहोगे हर चीज का तो फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए कुछ मिलेगा नहीं, और वो लोग बेचारे सब भूखे रह जाएंगे, है ना, बहुत सारी चीजें उनको प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. Moreover, use of these renewable resources puts burden on the environment also, because they are causing environmental pollution और सब खत्म हो रहा है. Energy resources are not here now enough for the now this generation also. तो future generation के लिए तो it is impossible to restore. ठीक है. On the other hand, use of renewable sources, for example, agricultural or biological products, ensures the sharing of the resources by the future generation. This practice generally does not put much burden on the environment. The products and the waste are generally biodegradable. So, one care has to be taken that whatever the product you are going to form, that should be biodegradable, means these should be easily disposable. Okay, so you are using here a renewable sources also, you are keeping it for next generation also, and you are able to dispose whatever the compounds which you have formed, which are your byproducts, because these are biodegradable. That is the seventh principle of green chemistry, that is the renewable use of renewable feedstocks. Is it very clear? These principles,
Yes.
energy resources and renewable feeds. Now next is reduce the derivatives, that is minimization of the steps. Now you have seen so many chemical reactions. In those chemical reactions, we are adding first step, second step, even in the chemical kinetics, we are observing different steps. Okay? We are forming the intermediates, which are unstable. They may remain in the environment for the longer duration of the time. So you should reduce the number of steps. Means if the reaction is able to happen in 5 steps, you try to do it in the 2 steps by using some other routes, by blocking some groups. जैसे हम लोगों ने किया था वो ब्रोमो वाला, याद है, हम लोगों ने एसिटिक एनहाइड्राइड डाल दिया था उसके अंदर. सो आपका ऑर्थो पोजीशन जो था वो ब्लॉक हो गया, तो आपको जो प्रोडक्ट मिला पैरा मिला. तो यहाँ मुझे 3 अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट मिलने की जगह पर सिर्फ पैरा प्रोडक्ट मिला, मतलब मैंने क्या किया, उसको ब्लॉक कर दिया. ठीक है. A commonly used technique is in organic synthesis is the use of protecting or the blocking group. Unnecessary derivatization, for example, installation, removal of the use of protecting group should be minimized or avoided if possible, because such steps requires additional reagent and can generate the waste. जैसे हम लोग कई जगहों पर pyridine यूज करते हैं. pyridine यूज करते हैं so that whatever the acid has been formed, it can be neutralized very easily, right? So you should avoid the formation of the acetic acid itself, so that you are not going to use the pyridine. So we require extra chemicals to dispose those chemicals which has been formed. Okay. Illustration is in organic synthesis we need very often protection of some functional groups. Finally, we again need their deprotection. It is explained in the following example of the synthesis of metahydroxybenzoic acid from metahydroxybenzaldehyde. You can see the reaction here. Obviously, in such cases, atom economy is also very less. The green chemistry principle aims to develop the methodology where unnecessary steps should be avoided. If practicable by catalyst reaction very often need no protection of selective groups. Now you can see here, जो मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया था, we are having over here metahydroxybenzaldehyde. It is also called as 3-hydroxybenzaldehyde. We are using over here protection of OH group, and we have added over here benzoyl chloride. यहाँ पर add हो गया, फिर oxidation करोगे and you will get this. ठीक है. So this is the direct method in which you can get your metahydroxybenzoic acid. So you should avoid the excess amount of reactants and the products to be formed. जैसे हम लोग को ortho, para, meta, कई बारी तीनों product मिलता है. तो you see to it that you are getting only the major product, minor product should be avoided. जैसे हम लोगों ने और कौन सा पढ़ा था, Markovnikov's rule, anti-Markovnikov's rule. Okay, then we have also studied Sage's rule. In all those cases, we are getting 80% major product, 20% minor product. You just try to not get your minor product. Okay, so that is called as eighth principle. that is reduce the derivatives, try to reduce the derivatives so that their separation and extraction and storage will be avoided. Okay, next is use of catalysis. What is catalysis? Of course, it's a catalytic reaction in which you're going to use the catalyst. Use of catalyst in the chemical reaction speeds up its rate. सभी को पता है. Catalysts help to increase the selectivity, minimize the waste, and reduce the reaction times and energy demands also. So, what is the role of this catalyst over here? Catalyst will always help you to minimize the steps. It will lower the activation energy curve, and you can easily transfer the reactant into the product in a very short duration of time. Okay, so here they have given you some examples. Hydrogenation of oil, hardening के लिए what we require? Rainy nickel. Haber's process of manufacture of ammonia, what we require? बोलो. FEN molybdenum, correct? Manufacture of HDPE क्या है? High density polyethylene. Ziegler-Natta catalyst, do you remember? Manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact
Yes.
process. We required vanadium pentoxide V2O5. फिशर ट्रोपास प्रोसेस, इसके लिए क्या लगता है अपने को? कौन सा था कैटलिस्ट? जरा इसका देखो. गैसोलिन के सिंथेसिस के लिए इसमें पढ़ा था ना हम लोगों ने कोऑर्डिनेशन में. नहीं, ट्रांजिशन मेटल में पढ़ा था. देखो जरा क्या है इसका. क्या है पहले वाले का? रेनी निकल. सेकेंड वन इज FEN molybdenum. थर्ड वन इज Ziegler-Natta catalyst. What is Ziegler-Natta catalyst? ट्राइथाइल एल्यूमिनियम टेट्राक्लोरो टिटेनियम टेट्राक्लोराइड. ठीक है. H2SO4 के लिए vanadium pentoxide V2O5. and Fisher topaz process के लिए we require a gasoline. ठीक है. synthesis of gasoline के लिए what we require? Just check that.
Anna.
Aryan, please mute yourself. Wait, I'll check. Fisher topaz process के लिए कौन सा catalyst है? बताओ ना रे बाबा. सिन गैस चाहिए ना इसके लिए. एक मिनट.
मैम कोबाल्ट और आयरन.
मिला क्या? मुझे मिल रहा ही नहीं है. Cobalt and iron ना? Yes, yes. Iron, cobalt, nickel and ruthenium we can use. ठीक है. We can use iron, cobalt, nickel and ruthenium. ठीक है. So this is about the catalyst, principle number 9. Okay, now next principle, design for degradation. Whatever have you formed, it should be degraded properly. और इस तरह से degrade करना है कि उसका कोई environmental problem ना हो. यश, please mute yourself बेटा. ठीक है. So design chemicals that degrade and can be discarded very easily. Ensure that both the chemicals and their degradation products are non-toxic. ठीक है. आप अगर कोई कंपाउंड यूज कर रहे हो उसको डिग्रेड करने के लिए, तो ऐसे नहीं हो कि दोनों रिएक्ट करके कुछ नया ही कंपाउंड बन जाए which is more dangerous. बायोअक्यूमुलेटिव और एनवायरमेंटल परसिस्टेंट नहीं होना चाहिए. It should not go into your body, which cause your environment, which cause your problem to you, as well as it should not cause any problem to the environment also. Persistent means it should not remain into the environment for the longer duration of the time. It should be degraded, discarded very easily. The aim behind this principle is that the waste product should degrade automatically to clean the environment. Thus, the biodegradable polymers and the pesticides are always preferred. Do you remember we have studied biodegradable polymers, PHBV, nylon 2, nylon 6, we have studied, correct? So that biodegradable polymer should be there. You can use the pesticides which are used to degrade your chemicals to make the separation easier for the consumer, and the international plastic recycle mark is printed on the larger items. Have you seen that? It is always written this plastic is recycled. तो ऐसा वाला एरो लिखा रहता है, दिखा है सबको, कभी देखा है? This indicates that it
Yes,
is
ma'am. देखा है.
recycled. ठीक है, तो प्लास्टिक्स के ऊपर आजकल वो लिखा जाता है डिग्रेडेड है या नहीं डिग्रेडेड है. और आप देखते हो कि कचरे वाले आते हैं सुबह में, सॉलिड वेस्ट अलग करते हैं, लिक्विड वेस्ट अलग करते हैं, डोमेस्टिक वेस्ट अलग किया जाता है. जो वेस्ट बिल्कुल भी इजीली डिग्रेड नहीं हो सकता उनको अलग किया जाता है. दे विल टेक इट टू अ वेरी, मतलब उसको डिस्पोज करने के लिए इतना बड़ा प्रोसीजर है ना. इफ आई विल शो यू ऑन द यूट्यूब, आप लोग सर पे हाथ मारोगे कि बाप रे, एक छोटा सा प्लास्टिक डिस्पोज करने के लिए कितना ज्यादा मैन पावर और कितनी ज्यादा एनर्जी लगती है. तो वी शुड अवॉइड द यूज ऑफ दैट. ठीक है, अभी यहाँ पर 10th हो गया. फर्स्ट विल स्टडी 11th एंड 12th प्रिंसिपल आल्सो. नहीं तो ये देख लो, ये कैसे लिखा हो देखो. नंबर 1, PET or PET. What is that? Polyethylene terephthalate. It is used in the microwavable food trays, salad dressings, soft drinks, water and beer bottles. ठीक है, so what are its status? Hard to clean, absorbs bacteria and flavors, avoid reusing. तो आपको वो यूज नहीं करना है. ठीक है, यू कैन रिसाइकल इट टू मेक द कारपेट्स, फर्नीचर, न्यू कंटेनर्स, पोलार फ्लीस एक्सेट्रा. क्योंकि आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे बॉटल जब हम लोग ठंडा मिरिंडा कुछ पीते हैं तो उसके अंदर उसका फ्लेवर आ जाता है, जल्दी से निकलता नहीं है. फिनाइल की बॉटल देखो, उसका फ्लेवर जो है, स्मेल है, इट विल नॉट गो वेरी इजीली. सो यू कैन नॉट यूज इट फॉर द ड्रिंकिंग पर्पस, बट यू कैन यूज इट, यू कैन रीयूज इट फॉर मेकिंग द कार्पेट्स, फर्नीचर्स एक्सेट्रा. आपने देखा होगा कॉलेजेस में भी रखे होते हैं टेट्रा पैक्स के अलग अलग कंटेनर्स रखे हुए. एनएसएस वाले बच्चों ने रखा होगा, आप सभी के कॉलेज में, कि प्लास्टिक वेस्ट यहाँ पे जमा करो. घर पे बहुत सारा मोबाइल फोन पड़ा हुआ होता है, बैटरीज होती है, वो सारी चीजें जमा करो. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज HDP, हाई डेंसिटी पॉलीथीन. इट इज यूज्ड इन द हाउसहोल्ड क्लीनर्स एंड शैम्पू बॉटल. Status is transmits no known chemical into the food. It can transfer any chemical into the food very easily. You can use it for making the detergent bottles, fencing, floor tiles, pens, etc. बनाने के लिए आप use कर सकते हो. जो use and throw वाली pens आती है, in that you can use them, recycle them. ठीक है, then we will go to number 3, PVC. PVC के पाइप तो सभी ने देखे होंगे. It is used in making the cooking oil bottles, clear food packaging, mouth wash bottles. ये सब किसके बने हुए होते हैं? PVC. आप सभी प्लास्टिक के नीचे देखना, ऐसे साइकिल बना हुआ रहता है. So it is believed to contain the phthalates that interferes with the hormonal development, and you should avoid the use of that. ठीक है, so you can recycle them by making cables, mud flaps, paneling, roadway gutters, etc. में you can use them. Yes, Siddesh, you can leave, please, no problem. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट दिया हुआ है लो डेंसिटी पॉलीथीन. अभी जो आपका ब्रेड का जो पैकेजिंग होता है, शॉपिंग बैग्स, कारपेट्स, क्लोथिंग, फर्नीचर एक्सेट्रा में you can use this. Bye bye Siddesh. And it also transmits no known chemicals into the food. You can recycle them in making the envelopes, floor tiles, lumber, trash can, liners etc. you can use. ठीक है, या फिर आप उसका ट्रे वगैरह बना के भी यूज कर सकते हो. Next is polypropylene, which is called as PP. Ketchup bottles, medicine and syrup bottles जो easily squeezed हो जाते हैं, drinking straws etc. transmits no known chemicals into the food. We can recycle them in making the battery cables, brooms, ice scrapers, and rakes, etc. You can make. Next is polystyrene. ठीक है, so it is used in making the disposable cups and the plates जो आजकल हम लोग सभी शादियों में यूज करते हैं. एग कार्टन्स देखा है, एग रखने का वो इसका बना रहता है पुट्ठे का थोड़ा सा. टेक आउट कंटेनर्स एक्सेट्रा. It is believed to leach the styrene, a possible human carcinogenic, into the food, and you should avoid that. It can be used for making the, it can be recycled for making the foam packaging, insulations, light switch plates, and rulers, etc. Okay, then the number seventh is which we are using miscellaneous extra plastics जो हम use करते हैं. So it is used 3 and 5 gallon water jugs, nylon, some food containers. Okay, they contains bisphenol A, which has been linked to the heart diseases and causes the obesity. You should avoid using that. Okay, you can use recycle. You can recycle them by making custom-made products. So these are the plastics which we are using in our day-to-day life. These are the polymers which we are using, and you should see to it that you should avoid the use of these bottles and chemicals. Okay? So these are the plastic materials which we are using in our day-to-day life. Then principle number 11 is real-time analysis pollution prevention. Now time to time you should check your automobile. सब लोग पीयूसी निकालते हैं अपनी गाड़ी का, उसका एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम होता है, एक गाड़ी से इतना ही धुआं निकलता है ना, तो दैट वी नीड pollution under control. So that also comes under green chemistry. Analytical methods need to be further developed to allow for the real time in process monitoring and control prior to the formation of the hazardous substances. मतलब आपको पता है कि अभी ये होगा रिएक्शन तो इससे ये वाली हार्मफुल गैस निकलने वाली है, तो पहले ही उसका इंतजाम करके रखना है. ठीक है. Analytical methodologies should be developed or modified so that continuous monitoring of the manufacturing and processing unit is possible. This is very much important for the chemical industries and the nuclear reactors because सबसे ज्यादा chemical आपने अभी देखा होगा बीच में ही वो क्या था वाइजैक वहाँ पे एक केमिकल रिएक्शन हो गया था ना बीच में कोरोना के टाइम पर सभी ने सुना होगा. So all these are causing so many you know problems in our day to day life also. ठीक है, ह्यूमन बींग्स का नुकसान हो जाता है, सामान का नुकसान हो जाता है, फिर एनर्जी का नुकसान होता है. ठीक है, it causes environmental pollution also. So you should take care that whatever the plant you are going to make, अगर उससे कोई harmful चीज निकलती है तो उसका पहले से ही आपको इंतजाम करके रखना है कि how to dispose that, how to handle that situation. अभी आपने देखा होगा सभी इंडस्ट्रीज में स्कूल्स में अगर फायर का डेमो दे दिया गया होगा, सबने किया होगा, फायर लग जाएगा तो कैसे भागते हैं, कहाँ से भागना है, क्या करना है. ठीक है, तो नाउ इट इज कंपल्सरी. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज सेफर केमिस्ट्री फॉर एक्सीडेंट प्रिवेंशन. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो भी केमिस्ट है उसको तो सबसे पहले बेसिक केमिस्ट्री का नॉलेज होना चाहिए. Correct. So you should read the manual properly before entering into the lab. You should take the permission of the teacher or whatever the guide is there. You should wear proper gloves, proper clothing should be given to them. तो ये सब क्या है safer chemistry things so that you can avoid the accidents. We need to develop a chemical processes that are safe and minimize the risk of accidents. The substances to be used in a chemical reaction should be selected in such a way that they can minimize the occurrence of the chemical accidents, explosions, fire, and the emissions, etc. For example, if the chemical process works with the gaseous substances, then the possibility of accidents, including explosion, is relatively high compared to the system working with the non-volatile liquid and the solid substances. तो यहाँ पे क्या एग्जांपल दिया गया है कि अगर आप कोई गैसियस सब्सटेंस लेकर कोई रिएक्शन करोगे तो उसका एक्सप्लोजन होने के चांसेस ज्यादा है. बट अगर आप वही सब्सटेंस को लिक्विड या सॉलिड स्टेट में करके करोगे रिएक्शन, so that can be avoided. Also, you should wear proper safety measures. You should follow the safety measures while doing the chemical reaction, so that your health should not be affected, environment should not be affected, and we can create a green chemistry everywhere. Okay, any questions in these 12 principles of green chemistry? श्योर, शुड आई प्रोसीड? हो जाएगा ये चैप्टर भी अपना आज, ऐसे मुझे लगता है, ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं. चलो ना, नेक्स्ट इज रोल ऑफ ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री. आप लोग रीड करो ये पहले, एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस. कितना है? मुझे लगता है थोड़ा सा ही है. हाँ, इतना ही है. चलो, रोल ऑफ ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू रीड दिस, and then we will discuss what exactly you have studied from the green chemistry, what is its playing, what role it is playing, that we have to discuss with you. चलो, पढ़ लिया सबने? व्हाट इज रिटन, व्हाट इज द रोल? व्हाट इज द रोल? क्या समझा आपको इस पैराग्राफ में?
वो हजार्डस सब्सटेंसेस को एलिमिनेट करना है उसका एम है
वेरी गुड,
ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री.
करेक्ट. मतलब देखो ना, आपने पूरे इसमें क्या क्या पढ़ा. जो 12 प्रिंसिपल थे उन सब में बेसिक, जो एक लाइन में अगर मैं बोलूँ तो मुझे किसी भी तरह से बाय प्रोडक्ट को रोकना है, और किसी भी तरह से मुझे हजार्डस केमिकल रिएक्शंस को स्टॉप करना है. ठीक है, बिकॉज अर्थ नाउ डेज इज नॉट हैविंग अ कैपेसिटी टू डील विद द मच वेस्ट. पहले कैसे होता था, नेचुरली चीजें प्योर हो जाती थी, साफ हो जाती थी. आप समुद्र का पानी देखो या कोई लेक का पानी देखो, ठीक है, अगर आप उसको काफी दिनों तक छोड़ दोगे ना तो खुद ही क्लीन हो जाता है. इट हैज अ नेचुरल कैपेसिटी, बट हम लोग उसको क्लीन होने के लिए देते ही नहीं है, because every day we are doing so much of pollution. To promote the innovative chemical technologies that reduces or eliminates the use or the generation of the hazardous substances in the design, manufacture, and the use of chemical products, the green chemistry is also helping us to reduce the capital expenditure. If you will do the minimum number of steps, of course expenditure will also be less, energy you're not using much. ठीक है, मैन पावर मच कम लगेगा, इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स अपने को बहुत सारे नहीं खरीदने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, to prevent the pollution. Green chemistry also incorporates the pollution prevention practices in the manufacture of chemicals and promotes the pollution prevention and the industrial ecology. Green chemistry is a new way of looking at the chemicals and the manufacturing processes to minimize any negative environmental effects. Right now, The green chemistry revolution is beginning, and it is exciting time with new challenges for the chemist involved in the discovery, manufacture, and the use of chemicals. ठीक है, so nowadays scientists are also trying to make the safest chemicals. अभी जैसे कैंसर का डिजीज हो गया तो कैंसर के लिए आप सबसे सेफेस्ट और स्मॉलेस्ट रूट कौन सा है, ठीक है, जिससे कम से कम साइड इफेक्ट्स हो. हम मेडिसिन कौन सी वाली खाना पसंद करते हैं जिसके साइड इफेक्ट्स बहुत कम हो, ठीक है. तो वैसे ही अभी सारे केमिस्ट लोगों को ऐसे ही केमिकल्स बनाने हैं. Green chemistry also help us to protect the presence of the ozone in the stratosphere, essential for the survival of the life on the earth. Because if you do less amount of pollution, less amount of carbon dioxide or the green gases will come out, it will not deplete the ozone layer and it may recover one day. That is the best hope which we can do. Green chemistry is also useful to control the greenhouse effect, global warming. So we should think about safe environment and safe earth. ठीक है? Is it very clear? Any questions so far? Any questions? Just go through all the 12 chapters and then you will get the idea what is the chemistry and what are the different elements in the chemistry. Okay, now we'll go for the next, that is nanochemistry. Have you heard about nanotechnology? Nano car तो सभी ने देखा होगा. What is nanotechnology? Hmm? What is nanotechnology? बोलो. क्या लिखा है देखो. From the clothes, sunglasses you wear, to the computer hard drives and even cleaning products. Nanotechnology nowadays plays a very big part in the manufacturing of many materials. ठीक है, nano मतलब बहुत ही छोटा, 10⁻⁹ वाला जो होता है. We have seen using laser in the DVD, CD players for the longer time, which contain nano-sized components. Now they've asked you to look at the figure 16.1. किधर गया 16.1? ये देखो. Water का nano particle कितने size का है? 0.1. Then glucose, then antibody, virus, bacteria, cancer cell, a period cell, tennis ball, all these are in the nanometers. ठीक है? And see here, and कितना है? 5 millimeter. Dust mite 200 micrometers. Human hair 10 to 50 micrometers wide. DNA 2 to 12 nanometers in diameter. Red blood cells 2 to 5 micrometers wide. ठीक है? Then micro electromechanical devices, that is 10 to 100 micrometers. Red blood cells, RBCs, कितना है? 50 millimeters. Quantum coral of 48 iron atoms on copper surface positioned one at a time with a scanning tunneling microscope tip that is 14 nanometers. ये एक instrument से निकाला गया है कि what is the size of that. This is carbon nanotube which is just 2 nanometers in diameter. And here they have given you the conversion factor also. 10 raised to minus 2 meters मतलब 1 centimeter मतलब 10 millimeters. ठीक है, तो ये उसके साइज देखो कितने छोटे हैं. अच्छा, यहाँ पे क्या बोला है अभी? They have said here, which shows this 16.1 shows a comparative scale for the macro materials to the atoms. Also 16.2 which depict the materials in the nature as well as devices that are man-made. In both figures, some objects like tennis ball, ant, human hair, etc. we can see with our own eyes, whereas bacteria, virus, red blood cells, we cannot observe with the naked eyes. These are known as nanomaterials. अभी meaning समझा? What are nanomaterials? Which we cannot see with our naked eyes. For that, we require some device that are called as nanomaterials. Okay, now what is nanoscience? It is the study of phenomena and the manipulation of the materials at atomic, molecular, and macromolecular scales where properties differ significantly from those at the larger scale. मतलब क्या बोला है यहाँ पर? You take your atom, atom के और छोटे छोटे parts करो, तो जो उसका सबसे बारीक वाला पार्ट होगा उसका प्रॉपर्टी उसके लार्ज स्केल का जो एक्चुअल एटम था उससे काफी अलग होना चाहिए, एंड इट शुड बी इन द इम्प्रूव्ड फॉर्म. ठीक है. So it is nothing but the manipulation of the materials at atomic, molecular and macromolecular scales. जो आपका नया सब्सटेंस बनेगा, it should have a proper different properties, significantly दिखना चाहिए कि हाँ ये नैनो मटेरियल था और ये आपका बल्क था. जैसे आपने ऑलरेडी देखा है, गोल्ड नैनो पार्टिकल इज टर्निंग रेड इन कलर, लेकिन जैसे जैसे नैनो पार्टिकल्स करीब आते जाते हैं उसका कलर चेंज हो जाता है, इट इज टर्निंग येलो इन कलर, right? So it should be differ significantly from those at the larger scale. ये आपने देख लिया. ये सारी चीजों को हम आंखों से देख सकते हैं, बट कुछ चीजें ऐसी है जो हम अपनी आंखों से नहीं देख सकते हैं. How do we define nanotechnology? Nanotechnology is the design, characterization, production, and the application of the structures, device, and the system by controlling the shape and the size at the nanometer scale. मतलब आप आपका कंपाउंड डिजाइन करो, उसका एनालिसिस भी करो, उसको प्रोड्यूस भी करो, उसको यूज भी करो, लेकिन उसका जो यूज होगा, उसका जो साइज होगा वो कितना होना चाहिए? नैनोमीटर्स में ही होना चाहिए. मतलब वो उतना छोटा ही होना चाहिए. उस छोटी सी चीज को आप जब यूज करोगे फॉर डूइंग अ ग्रेट वर्क, that time it is called as nanotechnology. Why the term nano has been invented? Nano is a Greek word which means dwarf. Dwarf पता है ना सबको, जो छोटा होता है, एकदम छोटा सा. But in actual case, nano is even smaller than the dwarf. Dwarf मतलब छोटा, but dwarfism से भी छोटा is called as nano. Conventionally, the nanometer scale is defined as 1 to 100 nanometer. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meters. ये तो सभी को पता होगा, फिजिक्स में भी किया है आपने, केमिस्ट्री में भी किया है फर्स्ट चैप्टर में. The materials which we see around us are bulk materials that possess macroscopic physical properties. अभी आप आपकी बैग देखते हो, आपके बाल देखते हो, आपकी आंखें देखते हो, ह्यूमन बीइंग देखते हो, मेटल्स देखते हो, all these are present in the bulk. Grains of the sand, that is micron sized materials, also possess same bulk properties. है ना? अगर मैंने मिट्टी उठा के लाई और मिट्टी का एक छोटा सा पार्टिकल, उसका प्रॉपर्टी और पूरे जो मिट्टी का प्रॉपर्टी सेम रहेगा. But materials synthesized at the nano scale possess unique optical, structural, thermal, catalytic, magnetic and electrical properties. But आप क्या बोला यहाँ पर? जो आप नैनो पार्टिकल्स बनाओगे उसी चीज का, उसकी सभी प्रॉपर्टीज उसके बल्क के प्रॉपर्टी से अलग होगी. These properties changes as the function of the size and are very different from their bulk materials. अगर मैं आपको गोल्ड का एग्जांपल दिया तो it is completely different from its bulk side. Okay? Any questions so far, बच्चों? I hope I'm not going very
No, ma'am.
fast. You're not getting bored. सबको समझ रहा है ना?
मिस वो सेम मटेरियल है तो डिफरेंट प्रॉपर्टीज कैसे होते हैं?
नहीं, क्योंकि उसका जो नैनो पार्टिकल हो जाता है ना, उसका प्रॉपर्टी चेंज हो जाता है. नैनो मतलब अपने ह्यूमन हेयर से 1/10,000 टाइम्स छोटा. ह्यूमन हेयर देखो कितना बारीक है, एक सिंगल स्ट्रैंड, उससे भी 1/10,000 टाइम्स छोटा, मतलब कितना बारीक रहेगा. तो उसका प्रॉपर्टी एकदम बल्क प्रॉपर्टी से हमेशा अलग होता है. दैट इज ओनली कॉल्ड एज नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी. समझा? जैसे जैसे आप साइज बढ़ाते जाओगे उसका प्रॉपर्टी चेंज होता जाता है, और बल्क का प्रॉपर्टी नैनो पार्टिकल के प्रॉपर्टी से काफी अलग होता है. ओके, किसी ने कुछ तो लिखा है चैट बॉक्स में. ओके, चलो नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट इज नैनो मटेरियल. The nanomaterial is a material having a structural component with at least one dimension in the nanometer scale that is 1 to 100 nanometers. Nanomaterials are larger than the single atom but smaller than the bacteria and cells. आप एक सिंगल एटम लोगे उससे नैनो मटेरियल थोड़ा बड़ा होता है लेकिन बैक्टीरिया और उसके सेल से छोटा होता है. These may be nanoparticles, nanowires, nanotubes according to the dimensions. Nanostructured materials may be large organic molecules, inorganic cluster compounds. Cluster मतलब एक पूरा बड़ा गुच्छा. Metallic or semiconductor particles also. What are 0, 1 and 2 dimensional nanosystem? अभी 1 dimensional क्या 0 dimensional क्या होगा? For example nanoparticles, उसको कोई dimensions नहीं होता है. A zero dimensional structure is one in which all the three dimensions are in the nanoscale. All the three dimensions, but it is not showing any dimension only. One dimension, nanowires and nanorods. इसमें क्या बोला है? One dimensional nano structure is one in which two dimensions are in the nanoscale. ठीक है? Two dimensional में क्या होगा? Two, ये देखो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. पहला वाला क्या है? यहाँ पे all three dimensions are lesser than 100, then two dimension, one dimension, so this is 0. Same ही है, ये देखो 2 dimensional nanotubes, nanowires. Third one is पूरा का पूरा, so it is thin filmed or layered coatings etc. So it is one dimensional arrangement. ठीक है? So what they have said, two dimension nano structure is the one in which one dimension is in the nano scale और बाकी दो नहीं होगा. Okay, now what is the definition of this nanochemistry? It is a combination of chemistry as well as nanoscience. It deals with designing and synthesis of materials of nanoscales with a different size and shape, structure, composition, their organization, functional architectures, etc. So everything will you are going to combine together. ठीक है, science भी और nano technology भी. Nanochemistry is used in the chemical, physical, material science, as well as engineering, biological and medical applications. कुछ लोगों ने तो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी को हैंड सैनिटाइजर बनाने के लिए भी यूज किया है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या बोला है देखो, डू यू नो a very highly useful application of the nanotechnology is medicine. A simple skin care product of nanochemistry is sunscreen. सभी लोग SPF क्या रहता है, सन प्रोटेक्टिंग फोरम 50, 35, 20 जो आप लोग यूज करते हो. In that they are using nanoparticles of zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. ठीक है, these are nanoparticles which have been used into that. जब स्किन केयर ट्रीटमेंट के लिए जाते हैं या फिर कुछ लोगों को बाल्डनेस का प्रॉब्लम होता है तो वहाँ पे लोग नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हैं. ठीक है, ऑल दोज creams and your hair oils and sunscreen lotions, shampoos, उन सब में क्या रहता है, नैनो पार्टिकल्स होते हैं. These chemicals protect the skin against the harmful UV radiations by absorbing or reflecting the light and prevent the skin from the damage. Okay, so that is most important. Any questions बच्चों so far? किसी को कुछ पूछना है पूछ सकते हैं. If you want to wait for 2 minutes, we can wait also, no problem. Any doubts? Should I proceed?
Yes, sir.
पढ़ना है पर एक बार. चलो next topic. Characteristic features of nanoparticles. What makes the science at nanoscale special is that at such a small scale, different laws dominates over those that we experience in our day-to-day life. First is color. Color, surface area, all those plays very important role. It is an optical property that is different at the nanoscale. Elemental gold, as we know, has nice shiny yellow color. However, if you had only 100 gold atoms arranged in a cube, its color is to be more red in nature, correct? So as I told you before also, your gold, actual gold is yellow in color, but the nanoparticles means only 100 gold atoms, AU kind of thing. If we'll put 100 side by side, it is turning only red in color. So it plays a very important role with the color also. Next is surface area. High surface to volume ratio is very important characteristic of the nanoparticles. If a bulk material is subdivided into a group of individual nanoparticles, the total volume remains the same, but the collective surface area is largely increased. ये देखो, this is the box. What is the area over here? 6 meters square. But if I'll make this half, कितना हो जाएगा? Its particle will divide. It will not divide as half or 1/4. This complete particle will divide as 12 meters square. Now I'll divide it into 1/3 part. It will be divided as 18 meters. समझा? तो ये जितना आप ब्रेक करते जाओगे उतना उसका पार्टिकल का डायमेंशंस वही रहेगा, खाली वो बढ़ता जाएगा. ठीक है? With a larger surface area for the same volume, these small particles react much faster because more surface area provides more number of reaction sites. तो मुझे बताओ, suppose ये figure A है, this is figure B, this is figure C. किस पे ज़्यादा active sites provided है? Figure C पे, correct? And here more amount of chemical reaction will take place. Explanation of increase in the surface area with a decrease in the particle size is given over here. ठीक है? Particle size will decrease and surface area will increase, but the dimensions will remain same. ठीक है? Cut into the smaller end, you will get 1 nanometer cube which has been formed. Clear this part, बच्चों? So पहला तो क्या था? Color था. Second is its surface area. Third one is catalytic activity. चलो read करो ये. First you read, then I will explain. क्या बोला है इधर पे? Due to increase in the surface area but decrease in the particle size, nanomaterial based catalyst shows increased catalytic activity. Obviously, size will decrease, surface area will increase, so catalytic activity will automatically increase. Usually, they are heterogeneous catalysts. That means catalysts are in the solid form and the reaction occurs on the surface of the catalyst. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था hydrogenation of alkenes. So CH2 double bond CH2 is present in the gaseous state. Hydrogen is also in the gaseous state. They both are reacting with each other to give you alkane. Correct? So these reactions are taking place on the surface of Raney nickel. Nanoparticle catalysts can be easily separated and can be recycled also. For example, palladium, platinum nanoparticles are used in the hydrogenation reaction. अभी मैंने आपको वही example दिया. ठीक है? Titanium dioxide and zinc oxide are used in the photocatalyst. अभी किया ना हम लोगों ने, sunscreen में use होता है तो photocatalyst. Gold in the bulk form is unreactive, but the gold nanoparticle is very good catalyst and it is used for the various chemical reactions. ठीक है? आपको अगर प्योर गोल्ड लोगे और बोलोगे चलो रिएक्ट करो तो नहीं करेगा, बट गोल्ड नैनो पार्टिकल इज वेरी रिएक्टिव. ठीक है? नेक्स्ट इज थर्मल प्रॉपर्टीज. The melting point of the nanoparticle changes drastically and depends on the size, of course. For example, sodium cluster मतलब 1000 atom कितने पे मेल्ट हो जाएगा? 288 पे. और 10,000 कितने पे मेल्ट होएगा? 303 पे. और एक्चुअल जो बल्क सोडियम दिखता है वो कितने पे मेल्ट होता है? 371 पे. तो ऑब्वियसली जैसे जैसे साइज बढ़ेगा उसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट विल आल्सो इंक्रीजेस. क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far? I hope everybody is getting properly. Nano science, nanotechnology हमेशा आपने पढ़ा है. चलो next is mechanical properties. Okay. Nano-sized copper and palladium cluster with a diameter in the size 5 to 7 nanometers have a hardness up to 500 times, 500% greater than the bulk metal. मतलब अगर मैं प्योर कॉपर ले लूं या प्योर पैलेडियम ले लूं और उसी का मैं अगर नैनो पार्टिकल ले लूं, सबसे हार्डेस्ट कौन हुआ? इट इज 500 times harder than its bulk. Second is electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity is observed to change at the nanoscale. For example, carbon nanotube can act as a conductor or semiconductor in the behavior, but actually में carbon क्या है? Carbon is a non-conductor, correct? But its nanoparticle can conduct the electricity very easily, or sometimes it will behave as a semiconductor also. The next part is synthesis of nanomaterials. How will you synthesize it? पहले आप लोग पढ़ो, दो मेथड है इसका, एक है बॉटम टॉप, सॉरी बॉटम अप, और दूसरा है टॉप डाउन. पहले आप रीड करो, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड इट, वेरी इजी इजी इट इज, देन वी विल डिस्कस इट. बहुत सारे लोग लैब में भी बनाते हैं, पता है, ऐसे बहुत डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. एंड नाउ डेज द पीएचडी वर्क इज डन ऑन नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी. बहुत सारा नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी यूज होता है सभी जगहों पर. आप एक बार पढ़ो, फिर मैं एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ. आई विल गिव यू 5 minutes टू रीड दिस. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, have you read that? How will you form this? How will you synthesize nanotechnology? Hmm? See, there are two approaches. पहला क्या है bottom up and दूसरा क्या है top bottom, top down, which is the schematic. First of all, अगर आप top to down जा रहे हो तो bulk को particle size में करना है and bottom up जा रहे हो तो particle से nano particle की तरफ जाना है, ठीक है? In the bottom approach, molecular components arrange themselves in more complex assemblies, atom by atom, molecule by molecule, cluster by cluster from the bottom. देखो नीचे से हो गया ऊपर की तरफ. In the top down approach, nanoparticles are synthesized from the bulk by breaking the materials, and then you you can get it in the few pieces. बस इतना simple सा था. Wet chemical synthesis of the nanomaterials, Sol gel process. Sol कब बनता है? When solid and liquids are mixed together, so it is called as Sol gel process. Sols are the dispersion of colloidal particles into the liquid. ठीक है? Dispersion of colloidal particles into the liquid. Colloids are the solid particles with a diameter of 1 to 100 nanometers. A gel is interconnected rigid network with the pores of sub-micrometer dimensions and polymeric chains whose average length is greater than micrometer. You can see the schematic representation of Sol gel process for the preparation of this. A Sol gel process is based upon the inorganic polymerization reaction. It is generally carried out at the bottom temperature, at the room temperature, and includes 4 steps. पहला है hydrolysis, दूसरा polycondensation, third is drying, fourth one is thermal decomposition. This method widely employed to prepare the oxide materials. You can see the diagram over here. Precursor, sol, then gel, then drying, then zero gel बनेगा यहाँ पे. ठीक है? Finally, you will get the ceramic materials, powder, thin film of the coating. So this is the diagram. The reaction involved here can be written as MOR and water, the metal alkoxide will first give you alcohol और फिर बाद में you will get over here condensation. ठीक है? देखो ये सारे जो अलग अलग instruments है that we will study later on. Okay, different instruments are used to find out the different compounds. Formation of different stable solution of the alkoxide or solvated metal precursor. These are the steps. Gelation resulting into the formation of an alcohol, फिर aging of the gel, then drying of the gel, then dehydration of the gel. So these are the different steps involved in the liquid synthesis. ठीक है? Next is once you have formed your nanomaterials, you are supposed to characterize that ना कि आपने जो बनाया है वही बनाया या कुछ बदलता ही बन गया. So you are supposed to characterize that. You are supposed to find out that the compounds which you have formed is exactly the nanoparticles which you wanted or something else. The synthesized material is analyzed by the various analytical tools or the techniques. The name of the techniques and its uses is described in the following table. ये देखो, photograph of X-ray diffractometer. यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है different. ये इसके ऊपर बहुत सारे questions आते हैं. UV visible spectroscopy. Instrument का नाम क्या? Instrument used is UV visible spectrophotometer. It is giving you a preliminary confirmation of the formation of nanoparticles. मतलब nanoparticles बन गया है, ये आप पता करोगे UV visible spectrophotometer से. X-ray diffraction. Particle size, crystal structure, geometry, how it does look like, what is the bond angle, okay, what is the particle size, what is the structure, that can be found out by using X-ray diffraction. Scanning electron microscope, SEM. It will tell you about the structure of the surface of the materials, that is morphology, means how it exactly looks like, कहाँ पर कैसे materials रखा गया है. Transmission electron microscopy, TEM. It will tell you about the particle size. FTIR, Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. It will tell you the absorption of the functional groups, binding nature, etc. So these are the different instruments by using which you can analyze your nanoparticles. Okay, so these are the compounds. These are the instruments by which you can find out, you will get the exact information about your nanoparticles which you have formed. You can see here, this is scanning electron microscope, SEM. ठीक है, ये सब diagram तो you're not supposed to draw, but you should just know. This is scanning electron microscope actually looks like this. This is a internal diagram. On this machine, you can see your graphs and everything. This is a diagram for transmission electron microscope. Okay, all these are there in India. Then this is the history of the nanotechnology. Watson and the Crick, 1953. Richard Feynman, ये मेन बंदा था जिसने nanotechnology का बताया. फिर न्यूमन, 1966. एरिक, फिर फोरसाइट इंस्टीट्यूट, अभी ये इसके ऊपर सब काम चल रहा है. नेशनल नैनोटेक्नोलॉजी इनिशिएटिव, सेंटर फॉर द रिस्पॉन्सिबल nanotechnology. So all these are the history. You can see different scientists who have involved. So Richard Feynman जो था, he was the first person who could find out these nanoparticles. ये देखो, nanomaterials have been produced and used by the humans for the hundreds of the years. और अपने को पता भी नहीं था कि हम लोग nanoparticles use करते हैं. However, understanding of certain materials as nanostructured material is relatively recent, क्योंकि हम लोग use कर रहे हैं, हम लोग को अभी अभी पता चला. Due to the development of the advanced tool, that is sophisticated instrument, it has been possible to reveal the information at the nanoscale also. ये देखो दिख रहा है रूबी रेड कलर, तो ये नैनो पार्टिकल की वजह से ही है. यहाँ पे लिखा है देखो, beautiful ruby red color of some ancient glass painting is due to the gold and silver nanoparticles which are trapped into the glass matrix. ये देखो ग्लास के अंदर वो पार्टिकल्स ट्रैप हो गए थे, फंस गए थे, नैनो पार्टिकल्स, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट यू आर गेटिंग गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर की वजह से यू आर गेटिंग इट अ ब्यूटीफुल रेड कलर. The decorative glaze or the metallic films known as luster found on some medieval pottery is due to the certain spherical metallic nanoparticles. Pottery होते हैं ना, अलग अलग तरह के pots जो होते हैं, उसके ऊपर कलरफुल जो चीजें लगाई जाती है, that is also the nanoparticles. Carbon black is a nanostructured material that is used in the tires of the cars to increase the life of the tire. And this discovery was done very recently, that is in 1900. Carbon nanotubes are made up of graphite sheets with graphite sheets with the nano-sized diameter. They have highest strength. Then fumed silica, component of the silicon rubber, coatings, sealants, adhesives, etc. are also nanostructured materials. देखो, nanotechnology is defined by the Tokyo Science University professor Nario Taniguchi in the year 1974, and the invention of the scanning tunneling microscope in the year 1980 led to the discovery of fullerene, जो 1986 में हुआ, और बाद में नैनो ट्यूब्स बन गया. ठीक है, ये देखो स्फीयर्स, क्लस्टर, नैनो फाइबर्स, 2D फिल्म्स, ठीक है, 3D फिल्म्स. तो भी जो 3D फिल्म्स आप जो देखते हो स्ट्रक्चर्स, वो सब क्या है? इट इज नथिंग बट द नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी. ठीक है. Now the last part of the chapter is application of nanomaterials. Nanochemistry has already contributed to the number of the innovative products in the various disciplines because of their unique physical, chemical, optical, structural, catalytic properties, and so on. Few applications are given below. Nanoparticles can contribute to the stronger, lighter, cleaner, and smarter surfaces and the systems. They are used in the manufacture of scratch-proof eyeglasses, transport, sunscreens, crack-resistant paints, and so on. जो हम लोग घर पे सब use करते हैं, उन सब में क्या रहता है? Nanoparticles होता है. Used in the electronic devices, for example, Magneton resistive random access memory. Nanoparticles or nanotechnology plays a very important role in the water purification techniques. Water contains a born pathogens like viruses, bacteria. 1.1 billion people are without access to an improved water supply. The provision of the safe drinking water is currently to a very highest priority. Recently, cost-effective filter materials coated with the silver nanoparticles. आपने वो जूही चावला का भी एक ऐड देखा होगा. जूही चावला का नहीं, सॉरी, माधुरी दीक्षित का. वो बोलती है ना आरओ प्योरीफायर, इसमें है कॉपर और वो सब पता है. So all these are nothing but the nanoparticles which they are using. Water purifiers होता है. Silver nanoparticles act as a very high effective bacterial disinfectant which can remove the E. coli bacteria from the water. Self-cleaning material, we are having lotus. It is an example of self-cleaning plant, which is also called as Limbo muscifera. Although grows in the muddy water, it has a technology. It has its capacity to clean itself. That is because of super hydrophobic nature. Its leaves are having super hydrophobic nature, means the leaves will not absorb the water. They can just remove it by their own. The nanostructures on the lotus leaves repels the water which carries the dirt as it rolls off, and lotus is therefore having a self-cleaning window. Okay, what are the advantages? Revolutions in the electronics and the computing, energy sensor. It plays a very important role in the solar power, more economical. ठीक है, energy storage हो जाता है काफी. Medical field में we are using for making the smart drugs. ठीक है, which helps us to cure faster without any side effects. Laser techniques जो थी आजकल चश्मा निकालने के लिए, that also they are using nanotechnology. Curing of the life-threatening diseases like cancer and the diabetes, etc. But what are the disadvantages? Despite the possibilities and the advancement that the nanotechnology offers to the world, there are also existing certain potential risks which are called as disadvantages. Nanotechnology has raised the standard of living, but at the same time, it has also increased the pollution, especially the air pollution. The pollution caused by the nanotechnology is known as nano pollution. This kind of pollution is very dangerous because वो living organism के अंदर जा सकता है because they are very very minute. Nanoparticles can cause lung damage. Inhaled in a particulate matter can be deposited throughout the human respiratory tract and deposits into the lung. The characteristics of the nanoparticles that are relevant for the health effects are size, chemical compositions, and their shape. Okay? यहाँ पे आपका चैप्टर के साथ साथ आपका पूरा 16 chapters of the chemistry is completed. Any questions? तो मैं आपको एक वीडियो दिखाती हूँ नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी के यूज के ऊपर. बहुत अच्छा वीडियो है वो, यूट्यूब पे है. ये हो गया सबका. अगर पढ़ लो एक बार. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I hope everybody understood this. Any
मैम वो
questions,
आपने कल
बच्चों?
जो वीडियो दिखाने वाले थे उसका लिंक भेजा नहीं?
हाँ, उसका लिंक नहीं भेजा. मैं भेज देती हूँ अभी. इसका मैं तुम लोग को ना वीडियो दिखाती हूँ. 1 मिनट रुक जाओ जरा. तब तक तुम लोग ये पढ़ो. मैं म्यूट करती हूँ खुद को. इसका नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी का एक बहुत अच्छा वीडियो है एप्लीकेशंस पे दैट आई हाँ यश मैं समझाती हूँ वो सुलझेल, जस्ट गिव मी 2 मिनट्स। हाँ ये वीडियो देखो बहुत अच्छा है। आवाज आ रही है?
यस मिस।
हाँ ओके।
In this video, we'll explore nanotechnology. The world is shrinking, meaning, among other things, robots will soon be traveling in your bloodstream. So, let's get started. The world is getting smaller, so let's talk about nanotechnology. We're talking about the nanometer, the nanometer. This is a billionth of a meter. We're talking about small here. Just to give you an idea of how small a nanometer is, 100,000 nanometers is the size of a human hair. So take that 100,000 and drive it all the way down. We're talking small. We're talking about the atomic level. Let me give you an illustration here. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers says that nanotechnology will leave virtually no aspect of life untouched and is expected to be in widespread use by 2020. This was all predicted by Richard Feynman, a world-famous physicist, who said in 1959, there's plenty of room at the bottom. What was he talking about? Well, computers used to fill an entire building. Now they fit on your wrist. Transistors are shrinking, as we've seen earlier, getting down by the mid-2020s to a single atom in size. What scientists have discovered is that the difference between one thing and another is not its atomic makeup, it's simply the order in which the atoms are put together. This is how they convert sand into silicon. It's how we convert coal into gold, how we take old sick people and turn them into young, healthy ones. Okay, that's off into the future. Near-term nanotech, it's already here. We already have devices that by 2018, your smartphone will have a video projector in it that will produce 3D imagery. Yeah, 2018, it's coming. By 2025, it'll be the end of laundry. Nothing will get dirty. By building textiles where dirt literally fluffs right off. We're already seeing robots in technology. Robots are now building other robots. Why do we need a robot building another robot? Because the robots that the robots are building are really, really tiny, down to the molecular level. This is having huge benefits. Ultra-high yield agriculture, zero pollution manufacturing, cheap power, environmental remediation, even eventually personal spacecraft. We're seeing medical nanorobotics as well. We're looking at artificial red blood cells, artificial white blood cells. When they find an infection, they devour it. Already in the marketplace, look at what's going on in one type of eye surgery. Right now, the traditional methodology, painful injections, big risk of infection and very expensive, being replaced by nanoparticles that float in eye drops. You self-treat at home, you just give yourself an eye drop. Quick, painless. Same results as the surgery. No risk of infection. 90% cheaper. That's the promise and hope of nanotech. What you're looking at here, every dot you see is an atom. We're looking at tiny robots that will be able to perform glaucoma surgery, gastric bypass surgery, even provide dental repairs. Let me illustrate with you one of the most promising technologies on the marketplace. It's called graphene. To help you understand what graphene is, it is the thinnest material ever built. When I say thin, it has no height. It has width, it has length, but it's only 1 atom tall. How do you make graphene? Well, take your ordinary number 2 lead pencil. Not quite sure why they call them lead pencils, they're made of graphite. So you take that lead pencil, draw it across the page, and you've now got some graphite on the page. Imagine if you could take a layer of the graphite away. And then take another layer away and another layer. You keep peeling off layers of the graphite until there's only one layer left, a single atom tall. That's graphene. It's made from ordinary graphite, a very plentiful, cheap material. But graphene, when you get it down to the one atom height, it's suddenly the strongest material ever measured. It's 150 times stronger than steel. It's almost completely transparent, transmits almost 98% of the light that passes through it. It's as pliable as rubber. You can stretch it to 120% of its size. It's highly conductive, 150 times more so than silicone. It's the only substance we know of that is completely impermeable to liquids and gas, but it weighs almost nothing. It's been theorized for decades, graphene is, but finally in 2004, they have isolated it in the lab. Now, 10,000 patents exist. Today, there are over 25,000 patents. Let me illustrate for you some of the potential uses of graphene. For computing, ultra-long life batteries and photovoltaic cells power everything from mobile devices to your home. Computers that are 100 times faster than today's fastest machines. Touchscreens, liquid crystal displays, organic LEDs for your smartphones, tablets, and TVs. Super thin smartphone, bendable, unbreakable. How about for the environment? We can eliminate radioactive waste and toxic spills, water filtration systems for desalinizing and creating biofuel, improve solar cells. How about for aviation? Conductive paint that removes ice from aircraft, weight-saving inflatable slides and rafts. For industry, we can improve the electric effect. We can provide lubricants, radio wave absorption, sound transducers, thermal management, structural materials, faster chemical reactions, fluids that increase the efficiency of oil drills. How about 4D printing as well? You're wondering what 4D printing is, aren't you? Well, we all know what 3D printing is. That's three-dimensional printing. 4D printing is basically printing on demand. Upon a change in temperature, change in humidity, change in light, suddenly the device prints itself. How about for the military? Body armor for military personnel and vehicles. How about for healthcare? Scaffolds for spinal cord injuries, blood glucose testing, cheaper medical imaging, faster and efficient devices that monitor glucose, hemoglobin, cholesterol, DNA sequencing, body sensors to measure breathing, heart rate, and movement, MRI contrast agents, implantable medical devices and sensors, microbial detection and diagnostic devices, drug delivery agents for cancer therapy, bionic devices we can place into living tissues, connected directly to neurons, allowing paralyzed people to move, tissue regeneration, antibiotics, cancer treatments. And how about for fun? Tennis rackets that are lightweight and strong, already on the market, by the way. Bottom line is this, there's a huge amount of money being poured into nanotech research. Venture capital funding has skyrocketed over the past 20 years. What does all this mean for personal finance? It means you're going to want to spend a lot of money on nanotech products, the latest, greatest stuff. How would you like to buy jeans that you never have to wash? Pretty cool, huh? How would you like to buy the latest tennis racket, lightweight, more powerful than ever? Nanotech products are in your future. You're going to want to buy them. That means creating enough money to be able to do so. And recognize that advances in healthcare, as exciting as they are, they're not going to be free. So you're going to want to allot money for what many people are calling participatory, voluntary healthcare. We'll talk more about that in an episode to come, because you're watching The Truth About Your Future.
Understood, बच्चों? Hello? Did you understand the nanotechnology applications? Graphene का कितना सारा बताया देखो, लेकिन graphene भी क्या है? It is a nanoparticle. Okay, अभी खाली 2-3 मिनट है, यश का डाउट क्लियर कर देते हैं सोल जेल वाला. And here we have completed with your full portion. ये देखो क्या है पता है ये? It is a technique. देखो, they have given here different steps involved into that. So what are these steps? See these steps. First is hydrolysis. Second one is polycondensation. Third one is drying, and fourth one is thermal decomposition. This is the steps involved in the formation of nanotechnology, or sorry, nanoparticle. तो पहले आप क्या करोगे? You will make the stable solution by using alkoxide. ये देखो MOR is called as alkoxide. ठीक है, so it will first form a precursor material, means which will start your mechanism. ठीक है, next step क्या है? Gelating resulting from the formation of oxide and it will form a gel. So second step is the formation of the gel. Third step is aging. Aging means heating that for a longer period of time so that it will become solid. Okay, third step, you have to dry that so that whatever the extra amount of liquid is there, that can be removed. And finally, do the dehydration at 800 degrees Celsius. So you will get your nanoparticles. So this is the technique. These are the steps involved in the formation of that technique, which is called as Sol gel method. समझा यश अभी?
Yes.
Any other questions, बच्चों? आपके all 16 chapters are done with all the numericals and everything as we have promised before your Diwali. But before नहीं हुआ, थोड़ा आगे पीछे हो गया, एक हफ्ता. But we have finished. एक मिनट, I will just show you the ये रहा index. ठीक है, अभी कल तो नहीं, Wednesday I will take a revision lecture evening में for electrochemistry second part. ठीक है, तो वो आप लोग पढ़ लेना. और वेडनेसडे कल मॉर्निंग में देखती हूँ, सर को पूछती हूँ, इफ पॉसिबल आई विल स्टार्ट विथ योर JEE एंड नीट वाला पार्ट. कौन सा चैप्टर पढ़ना है इसमें से JEE नीट में? तो वो भी बोलो. चलो अभी आज वाला चैप्टर मत बोल देना, ऊपर में से बोलो. Which chapter you want? Do you all have MTG? सभी के पास है ना, 11th में तो सभी ने लिया था ऑलमोस्ट. Which chapter do you want me to start for your entrance? बोलो जल्दी. पेपर 1, पेपर 2 क्या करना है? चैप्टर वाइज जाते हैं. सॉलिड स्टेट पर वो तो सर ने पढ़ाया था ना. पूछती हूँ मैं सर को वैसे एक बार. Is it fine if we'll go with the solid state? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, श्योर ना? तो थोड़ा सॉलिड स्टेट पढ़ना चालू करो and we will see if possible. I will try. See, we have 100 questions at a time, so I will try to. मेरे पास MTG का पूरा PDF है. ठीक है, तो आई विल शेयर ओवर हियर. आपको आपके नोटबुक पेन के साथ बैठना है और आपका जो MTG का बुक रहेगा वो लेकर बैठना है. ठीक है, इसमें जो मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चंस है दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व, और कुछ आपका होमवर्क रहेगा जब आप नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में, मतलब 2-3 लेक्चर लगेगा ऑब्वियसली, और जब आप नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में आओगे तो वी विल डिस्कस दैट एंड देन वी विल गो फॉर द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. ऐसे करेंगे. ठीक है, तो आई विल जस्ट स्पीक विद सर टुडे. MTG वो अपना फिंगर ट्रिप्स वाला हम लोगों ने 11th में लिया था. फिंगर टिप्स वाला बुक था ना, 11th में लिया था. अनुष्का ने नहीं लिया है क्या? ये बच्चे लोग को बोलो ना, बच्चे लोग जरा ये अनुष्का को पिक सेंड करो ना तुम लोग के टेक्स्ट बुक का. मेरे पास बुक नहीं है. वो कर देंगे तुमको सेंड. ठीक है, अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम. कशिश प्लीज सेंड हर द पिक्चर ऑफ योर MTG. कशिश विल सेंड यू अनुष्का, डोंट वरी. ठीक है, और 11th के मैक्सिमम हमने चैप्टर्स 11th में ही कर दिए हैं इसके, तो आई विल कीप दैट रिविजन आल्सो, डोंट वरी. सो वेडनेसडे इवनिंग there will be a revision for electrochemistry and tomorrow I will talk with sir. If he will say yes, we will do with the solid state. I have a PDF, don't worry, I will share on my screen of the laptop और हम लोग मोबाइल से सॉल्व करना सीखेंगे. ठीक है, चलो बाय बाय एवरीवन. आपको कोई चैप्टर में, पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर में डाउट होगा तो वो भी डाउट्स निकाल के रखो. विल डू दैट. ठीक है, चलो बाय बाय, टेक केयर.